Okay, so next month marks the 20th anniversary of the devastating Bali bombings, which killed 202 people, including 88 Australians. It's certainly going to be a difficult day for many people in Australia, as well as Indonesia and right around the world. So before he left for London, Michael spoke with former AFP officer Frank Morgan, who was there that day and was honoured for his actions.
I was back in the hotel, or just got back to the hotel when heard the explosions go. My first thoughts were an aircraft had crash landed, but the longer it went, the more I realised that something had happened close by, and that's when I started seeing the flames coming up out of the area of the Sari Club. You rushed to the Sari Club. Frank, explain the scene that confronted you. Initially, I didn't get much further than the hotel foyer, the area, a grassed area, where a lot of injured people were starting to come into the foyer that had come out of the Sari Club. I spent quite a bit of time there trying to treat people and look after people. You helped ferry at least some of the injured to a nearby hospital. Frank, take us through what you did and the scene that confronted you at the hospital you got to. I spoke to the doctor there, and he was just being overrun by injured people, and made a deal with him that if he looked after my mate Tim, he could, and gave me a medical kit. I'd go outside, shut the doors behind me, and do some sort of a triage or look after anyone I could. He accepted that and looked after Tim, and I stayed outside, and just a progression of injured people coming up. Frank, I mean, you're a federal police officer at the time. You had been trained, highly trained, to deal with crisis situations. What was going through your mind as you were rushing from patient to patient, survivor to survivor, trying to help as many people as you could? I think the main thing is stay calm. Don't panic. Don't show panic. Just keep everyone calm and relaxed, because the moment people start getting upset, it just brings a new set of complexities to it, and knowing that it'll end eventually. This can't go on forever, but it felt like it did. The hours ticked by, the next day dawned. There was still one of your friends, your colleagues, still missing, Nikki Haig. You went looking for her, a fellow AFP officer. Where did you find Nikki? I went into a hospital. I went through a number of hospitals and unfortunately quite a few morgues, looking for survivors or evidence of people that I was looking for, and went into a particular hospital and found Nikki after walking up and down the aisles. Nikki had been quite badly burnt, very, very luckily no injury to her face, but her right arm had been badly burnt, and as a result of the burns, it had swollen up considerably. I spoke to a doctor, and he decided he had to do a procedure. I don't know what it was called, but essentially what he did was ran a razor blade from her top of her shoulder down to her elbow, just to release the pressure. Was there any anaesthetic available during this? No. I let Nikki know that, and held on to her face to face and just said, "Just hang in there. We'll get through it." And it's probably one of the bravest things I've ever seen, her doing that. You have suffered panic attacks over years as a result of that experience. You're dealing, understandably, with post-traumatic stress disorder, Frank. How are you managing that, or trying to manage that, nearly 20 years down the track? It's difficult. You don't think there's anything wrong with you. But really there is. You deny it. You don't want to be the victim, but it affects you. It affects your life in ways that you don't realise till many, many years later, and it's just a build-up of issues. As we approach the 20th anniversary of the bombings, Frank, what is your overriding emotion? Sadness for the families of the victims, the people that were injured. it's a thing that sticks with you for years and will never go away. Also, that the people that were involved in it have been released, they're being let out. Justice I don't see as being served, but that's not for me to say.
Frank Morgan, really, really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Absolute pleasure, Michael. Thank you.